Hi, hello, and welcome to Journey Towards Wealth. In today's video, let's understand the basic difference of being rich and being wealthy. Being rich, somebody is rich when they have a high income which comes to them every month through a paycheck or through a source of income. Most people who are rich would like to maintain their status of being rich. So they need that validation from the world or that acceptance from the world that they are rich. Whereas wealthy is somebody who has enough investable assets through which they earn their income. They are not dependent on a paycheck or they are not dependent on just one source of income. Wealthy, for that matter, could be anybody who has enough investable assets. Most people associate wealthy to be multimillionaires or billionaires, but actually, the wealthy doesn't need to be all that. Wealthy is anybody who has enough investable assets or enough money in investable assets through which they have their income coming in. They will have multiple sources of their income. It is not limited just to a job or just to the rental income or dividend income or a small business. They will have multiple sources of income, and rich people generally will have one source of income, which is mostly your salary or your paycheck. The next thing is rich people, as I already told, need validation for their richness. They want the world to accept that they are rich. And hence, most of the rich people we see today are people who must be having huge debt to actually show their rich life. For example, somebody who is earning an income of around 5 lakh per month in India, that person from rich per se is a rich person because he is getting this 5 lakh monthly income, and with that income he is able to show a lifestyle. But actually, for that person to be wealthy, it needs his investment. At least a major portion of his income needs to be invested for him to become wealthy. So this 5 lakh, if it is used only towards having a great lifestyle for the validation of the world, for a person earning 5 lakh, if he spends 4 lakhs towards his upkeep of his lifestyle, then he will be able to invest only a very small portion, and for him to become wealthy becomes difficult. So it is not necessary that all the rich people are wealthy. Also, it is not necessary that all the wealthy people are rich. So, what we need to understand is we need to understand the very difference between being rich and being wealthy. Another major difference of being rich and wealthy is being rich is mostly it's a short term thing, which is as long as you have that high income, you are able to maintain a lifestyle and you can keep going that. It's a short term, more probably for a period of 5 years or 10 years, or the period when you have that kind of money coming in, and just during that period you have that lifestyle. Whereas being wealthy is a long term thing. Whereas you can't be wealthy just in 2 years or 3 years. You have to have a consistent process of saving money, investing money, letting the money grow with patience, and you need to work hard. You need to have your self discipline in place. You need to have perseverance. You need to have a plan in place to be wealthy. So, being rich and being wealthy as a process is two entirely different things. Mostly being rich is a very short term thing, only till the period you have that kind of income, that is all you become rich. Whereas wealthy is something which is long term. The investment, the savings that you do will keep growing and make you wealthy, which is a little longer process, and it's a more permanent situation that you land up in. The next point of difference between rich and wealthy is usually the rich has a single source of income, which is through their paycheck or the business income that comes, and usually the rich people will want to have a lifestyle which wants to show that they are rich. So they may be having a huge EMI running for their car, or multiple cars they are having, or they may be having huge EMI for their house, a huge house they'll be having, and they will have expenses to maintain the lifestyle which they want to show the world. Whereas the wealthy will be having multiple sources of income, not only just their business income or their job income, but they will be having other sources like their rental income, their dividend income, their stock market investment withdrawals that they do. They will be having different sources of income, and they are not just dependent on one income. So even if one income dries up, they still have money coming in for them. Also, whatever income they may be receiving from this investments or their business, they will be reinvesting a major portion of it back into their business or into their investments. This way their money will be always working for them to make them more money. That is the reason why the wealthy will always get wealthier over a period of time. They have patience to wait for their money to grow. At the same time, they will keep investing their money over a period of time. Most people assume that you are wealthy when you will be having multi-million dollars or billions of dollars as asset base or as net worth. But actually, being wealthy is a state of mind. It is a state of mind where you can continue living your current standard of living without depending on a paycheck or source of income, by the sheer fact that you have enough assets or you have enough income producing assets which will provide you income over a period of time. So the condition to be wealthy is to have enough resources or income producing assets or passive income where you can continue your current life without reducing the standard of living over a period of years without depending on your paycheck. Let's look at this from an example, which is here is an individual whose net worth is around 10 crores, which has been invested around 2.5 crores in his rental units, 5 crores in equity, 2 crore in a small business, and a deposit of 50 lakhs. And each year he has an income coming in from various different sources for around 37 lakhs, which is 10 lakhs from his rental property and 5 lakhs as dividend income. Business income is around 12 lakhs per year and equity withdrawal of 10 lakhs. Around 2% of equity, the withdrawal each year. Again, there must be a question like, what happens if the market is not doing well in a particular year? In that case, we should also understand that 10 lakhs that he withdraws may not happen. Even if he doesn't withdraw the 10 lakhs, he is having enough income coming in to take care of yearly expense. But again, there will be years where he will be getting better returns than 2%. He may be getting around 10 to 12% on an average. So those years would compensate for the years when the withdrawal is not possible or withdrawal will be difficult because of the market conditions. Even if he doesn't do that withdrawal, just with his business income, he will be able to run his yearly expenses because of the fact that he has so much of excess of income coming in each year. That excess income mostly would be reinvested, and this will help him to accumulate more wealth. Now let's look at how a rich person would look like, or what would be his yearly. A rich person who is having an yearly income of around 60 lakhs, which is the top 1% of the Indian population, and his yearly expense is around 45 lakhs, which means he is able to save and invest around 15 lakhs from his total yearly income of around 60 lakhs. Now, in case he needs to maintain his lifestyle like this, then what he need to have is at least 15.75 crores as his wealth accumulated or his investable assets. But with this kind of a lifestyle where he is spending around 45 lakhs per year out of his 60 lakhs income, he is not able to accumulate that kind of money or that kind of asset to maintain this lifestyle. So let's assume that he thinks that he will over a period of years will invest and make that money. In that case, in the future, once his job is done, once he loses this high paying salary, if he has to maintain this lifestyle, then he needs a corpus of around 57 crores, because there is a factor of inflation which cannot be ignored. So when you incorporate an inflation of 6% and a return of around 12%, then he need to actually invest around 4,42,000 for a period of 22 years to achieve this huge corpus. That is when he will be able to sustain this lifestyle even after his working life is over, or even after the period when he will be earning this high income. That is a exact fact which differentiate the rich from the wealthy. Wealthy will have enough investable asset so that he can maintain his lifestyle. Especially the real wealthy will be using only a very small percentage of his income towards his expenses. Mostly for the rich, it is just the reverse. He'll be having high income, but that income will usually be used for his expenses, and he will not be able to sustain his lifestyle once he gives up this income generating opportunity of his life. For somebody to earn a salary of around 60 lakhs in India, it may be when he is in his 35 or 40 years. Then to have another 22 years to keep working is nothing less than a miracle, because to work till 57 or 58 with this kind of salary, or salary which will keep increasing, is not a joke. It is going to be tough. That is why it becomes important for the rich people to actually invest the money and make enough corpus so that they can sustain a lifestyle which they have got through their high paying jobs or high payouts that come out to them. And that's the reason many a people who are rich may not turn out to be wealthy and may not be able to sustain a lifestyle which they had during their time they were rich. Then comes the next question: how do you try to maintain your rich status and convert that to being wealthy? Now let's look at the second situation, where the person is having an annual income of again 60 lakhs and he is having an annual expenses of 30 lakhs, and he is able to invest and save around 50% of his total income. In that case, to maintain the same lifestyle, he need a corpus of around 10.5 crores, which when you incorporate with inflation, we need to invest, or he needs to invest around 2.95 lakhs to achieve a corpus of 38 crores, which he can maintain this lifestyle. That too, this kind of investment should go on for 22 years and with a rate of return of 12%, which is possible through your equity investments. Again, 22 years is a long period for him to actually continue having this work, but once he reduces in his expenses, it is actually possible for him to achieve this kind of corpus. So the main thing for the rich to actually maintain their life and then go on to become wealthy is to actually cut down their expenses, or rather do not inflate their expenses for the luxuries or the lifestyle expenses, and deviate that for investments and savings so that they can sustain a lifestyle for a longer period of time. Now we have gone through the difference between being rich and being wealthy. What we realized is being rich is having that high income coming on a paycheck on a monthly basis. Here the biggest problem is what happens if you lose that source of income. Then you do not have that life that you have been having because of that paycheck coming in, and you do not have assets which would create you income. That is where being wealthy helps you. When you are wealthy, you have enough investable assets or resources which would help you to get the income on a monthly basis without even having to do your primary job, because you have already created those assets for you which are working for you. So basically your money is working for you. So the main thing is you have money on the side for a rich person, but for a wealthy person you have money and time with him. Now the important question is, today's world we can see many people earning good salaries or high salaries, but those salaries are limited to their lifestyle. They, whatever the increment they get in this high salary, they spend it on their lifestyle, which results in lesser savings. They are not able to invest and save money, because of which they are not able to go into the wealthy category. So it becomes an important question: what does it take for a rich person to be a wealthy person? It doesn't take much. It needs you to plan your life, to plan your investments, to plan and stick to those plans and create a healthy corpus or a healthy amount of investable assets. Another thing very important is you need to have that discipline, that self discipline to go on the journey, especially when you have so much of distractions in today's world. You have people putting on social media about the expensive car they bought. You never know if that car must be on on credit. They would have taken a loan and bought that car, which ultimately means it is not even their own car. They are still paying money to get that as their own car. Or you may see a huge house, and in today's social media you can see that happening on it. So it's very important that you don't get distracted by all that when you're in a journey towards building wealth. And building wealth is a long term thing, and it would give you the security and the confidence to carry on your life, where you have that freedom to tell that you're not dependent on your job. You still can carry on with the assets that you have created. And believe me, that in real sense is freedom. To have that kind of asset base so that you can say, enough, I have enough and I can carry on my life. Whereas being rich, you may be always in that worry about what happens if I lose my job. When the recession comes, then what happens? What happens if my job is not there? How will I pay my EMI? The worry goes on and on. So I think by now you would have got a difference of being rich and being wealthy, and what is it that you're aiming for. I hope this video becomes helpful to many of you at least. And if you feel these videos helpful, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Please post your valuable comments in the comment box. That will motivate us to bring on more videos. Also, if you have any query, please feel free to write to us on the email ID provided in the description. Thank you for your time.